Okay, welcome to the program agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and I was just scanning the news. And well, it's a very interesting day again for many of you who will have a chance to read the newspaper because here on the front page of the Philippine Star, hindi nyo na po kailangang pumunta sa Holland o sa Netherlands. Doon po sa ano bang probinsya ere, Misamis Oriental, meron na sila. They are already planting tulips and they are actually flowering. So that's going to be an interesting endeavor, and it shows us that, when we actually try to discover the Philippines, we will also discover that many of the things that other countries are doing, like let's say cut flower exports, it can be expanded kasi at the moment parang ilang lugar lang ang nakakapagpatubo ng mga malalaking rosas, etc., and manage to export them or at least sell them locally. But now that we have COVID, things are slowed down. Now is a good time for government and scientists and business people to just survey the land and find out what can we do here. And you don't have to be a genius, mga kaibigan. All you have to do is actually, look for successful business models in countries that have similar features, geography, topography, climate of the Philippines, and copy. Mangopya ko. Yung China nga. China sumikat, kakakopya, di ba? Dati made in China. Tapos yung pag sinabi mong made in Taiwan, lousy. Ngayon, who are the biggest manufacturers? It's Taiwan and China. And sorry, I'm making the distinction, but because there is a distinction. In any case, it's February 4, 2021, Thursday, and I hope you had a good night's rest. I hope you had a good day yesterday. I had a bit of a testy afternoon, but it became a beautiful evening, and I hope you did likewise. Okay, as I was scanning the newspaper, medyo meron pong malungkot na balita akong nakita. I did not expect to come across it, but apparently, like many of his associates, or some of his associates to be accurate, former senator, okay, babasahin natin yung buong pangalan niya, no? Paano ba yun? John Henry Sani Osmeña. Yung kilala natin, Senator Sani Osmeña has passed away due to colon cancer, and he passed away at the age of 86. He recently celebrated his 86th birthday, and after that, natuluyan na po. And ganun po, no? We are not promised tomorrow. Even in the Bible, there were age limits that God placed on us because of our human nature, and then eventually, because of science, technology, and quality of life, napahaba natin. Aba ngayon, may mga umaabot na. Yung si Colonel Tom ba yun, yung sa England na World War I, World War II survivor yata, 100 years old, and then he passed away also. So, we are not promised tomorrow. So if I may, before I get serious on the program, may I remind you, enjoy your life. Do what you've always wanted to do with limits, with consideration for others, with recognition of your responsibility. But please, be happy. Sabi nga nung kanta. In any case, February 4, 2021, it's a Thursday. Isang tulog na lang. Happy weekend na naman. And you are watching Agenda on channels 8 and 250 of Signal TV. Okay? Kung hindi pa kayo nagsusubscribe, mag-subscribe na kayo. And you know what's the best combination? Magpakabit kayo, have your house or your office or wherever, your farm, installed with PLDT fiber optic internet. Okay? 100 Mbps minimum kagad para masasama na, package deal na yung signal. I don't know the mechanics, but we've done that here in the house, and according to my wife, it saves us money every month. So, if you haven't subscribed to PLDT Fiber Optic and Signal TV, kombinasyon nyo na, panalo kayo. Okay. So for today, our guest, one of our now regular resource person, Father Nicanor Austriaco, or Father Nick of the UST COVAX Vaccine Awareness Team and Octa Research Group. Bakit natin tinawag si Father Nick? Hindi po para mangumpisal. I am not calling him so I may confess my sins. I am calling him, or we are inviting him, kasi they did a survey. And you know what the sad news is? It seems that because of all the rumor mongering, panic-driven false information, marami nang natatakot magpabakuna. In fact, yesterday when we were having lunch at the farm, I asked some of the team members and they said, doon sa aking manukan, sabi nung iba, ay, hindi muna ako magpapabakuna. Bakit? Hintayin ko muna yung iba. Parang mauna kayo. Well, I guess many of us have that state of mind. But I said, mamili ka, buhay o puri. Ika nga, di ba yung joke, yung buhay o puri ko. Pero, alam mo, mamili kayo. Sakit ng katawan o siguradong kamatayan? We will talk to Father Nick, find out what exactly is going on. And then, we will speak with an economist, JC Punongbayan, kasi sabi po ni Presidente, nako, paktay na. Talagang tinamaan yung ekonomiya natin at mukhang palala ang sitwasyon, etc., etc. I would like to encourage everyone to just keep punching, keep working, keep trying, keep investing, laban lang. And then, kayo namang mamimili, buy. Magtulungan tayo kasi if we all say, well, the economy is shot, then what? We all just stand by and count the bodies? I don't think so. So let's find out from JC Punongbayan, economist, co-founder of Usapang Econ, what exactly is the real state and ano ba, hopeless pa or kailangan pait? Kasi like me, I lost all of my pigs. Hobby naman sa akin, hobby farm. I lost 80 pigs because of ASF. Hands up? No. They say I can't raise pigs for a long time. Fine, I'm raising chickens. Okay? So, ganun lang yun. Because the point is for you to be busy, productive, and hopefully make a little money. And if you don't make a little money, at least cut costs by producing your own goods. Okay, let's go now to the front page of the Philippine Star. Pasensya na, Gabriel, at mukhang ang aking telepono ay nahuli sa banatan. Okay, puntahan natin ang front page. The Senate Committee on Public Services is set to conduct an inquiry into the issues surrounding the private motor vehicle inspection centers or PMVICs, as motorists are reportedly paying exorbitant fees for the process. Maigi na kahit huli at laging huli, iimbestigahan na nila Senator Grace po itong bagay na ito. Look, I try to be apolitical, no? Pero napapansin ko lang po, parang may mga ilan tayong miyembro ng Senado na kumbaga hinihintay mo nang magkaumpugan, hinihintay mo nang maging issue, parang naninigurong, bago tayo mag-imbestiga, siguraduhin muna natin galit ang tao. Parang ganon. I mean, sorry if some people were a little more resourceful, more proactive, they would have immediately known that this is a problem. Kasi ako naman po ay consultant at large, libre tungkol dito sa mga bagay nito. At yung mga nasa gobyernong tumawag sa akin, sinabihan ko sa sakit ng ulo nyo dyan. Okay, maraming mga ginagawang program sa gobyerno na awa ng Diyos, our government employees and managers actually consult. Yung iba, lalo na sa LTO, nagkukonsulta lagi yan. Pero ang problema, pag habang tumataas, padalang consultancy becomes less. Now, as far as this Senate inquiry is concerned, thank you that it's going to happen. But I just wish that, they were more proactive than reactive. Okay, kailangan pang mag-motorcade, kailangan pang magpa-press conference bago gumalaw. Anyway, the Interagency Task Force for IATF says that medical frontliners in COVID-19 referral hospitals within Metro Manila are first in the vaccine priority list. These are healthcare workers in the Philippine General Hospital in Manila Lung Center of the Philippines and East Avenue Medical Center in Quezon City and Dr. Jose Rodriguez Memorial Hospital in Caloocan City. Sa madaling salita, yung nasa gera, doon yung kumbaga saan nagkakapunuan, doon magkakabakunahan. Okay. Mayors Toby Tiangco of Navotas and Joy Belmonte of Quezon City voiced out their opinion against proposing amendments to the Constitution. They say the timing is off as we are in the middle of a pandemic. Maraming salamat po mga halal na alkalde. We would like to hear more of this or see more of this from other mayors na medyo tumayo kayo, magsalita kayo, at huwag kayong masyadong kumbaga chicken. Kasi yung iba nananahimik regarding these issues, and what happens is parang sunod-sunuran na lang. Katulad ng PMBIC, tingnan nyo, ginawa doon sa San Fernando, La Union, yung provincial board ba yun, or city council yata yun. Pinara nila yung business permit nung PMBIC. So in any case, more mayors should speak out for the benefit of their constituents or reflect the thoughts and sentiments of their constituent. And then, in other news, the Department of Education says it will not adopt the pass or drop grading system. Ewan ko po, pero kasi kung minsan yung adapt tayo ng adapt o gaya tayo ng gaya sa mga ibang bansa na nobody fails, no one is a failure, everyone gets a ribbon, everyone gets an award, naku po, problema yan ganyan. Kasi parang children don't know how to cope with defeat. Children don't know how to cope with a no. Okay? And the Philippines came in at number 55 out of 167 countries in the Democracy Index released by a London-based think tank. The country placed number 54 in 2019, 53 in 2018, and going as high as 51 in 2017. Okay, so ayun po ang mga balita sa front page, and meron akong nabasa sa loob sa second page. Yung sabi po ng DOH na yung pagbabago raw sa quarantine standards, kung magiging MGCQ, GCQ, ECQ, whatever, it's not just kung marami nang mababakunahan or kung may bakuna na. They are saying that it will also be dependent. It is more important that it will be based on, or it should be based on, the number of cases versus the capacity of healthcare facilities. Kumbaga, ilan yung tinatamaan laban dun sa mga bilang ng kama sa mga hospital for COVID-19. The question is, akala mo senador, no? The question, Mr. President, is during the time of COVID-19 pandemic beginning from March 14 to present, February 5, okay, 5 na ba? Okay, hindi, 4 yata, 4. How many new hospitals have been built? How many new public hospitals have been added to our healthcare system? Number 2, how many of the existing overcapacitated, punong-puno na hospitals for different diseases and specialties have actually been expanded or duplicated? Kasi yun po ang problema. Sabi tayo ng sabi, healthcare capacity. Alam nyo na yun ang problema, pero hindi ninyo tinutukan yung paggawa. Nako po, yung ginawa ng China, 1,000 bed. In 2 months? Pagkatapos, tapos na yung issue, tiniklop nila ulit, inuwi. Pagkatapos, may pumutok sa ibang lugar, tinayo na naman. Ay, nako. May gulay, Mr. President. Sabihan niyo po, yung best friend ninyo dyan sa DOH, magpatayo tayo ng more. Okay, bago ako mapagalitan, magbe-break lang daw muna po sandali at meron lang papaalala ang One News PH, ang Signal TV at babalik tayo. We'll be right back. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, your host, and you are watching us via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250, as well as on facebook.com/OneNewsPH. Okay, let's talk about the economy, and the president is quoted as saying that the country's economy is in bad shape. He also claims that we're losing 2 billion every day due to COVID-19. Ngayon, hindi ko alam kung 2 billion ba yan in lost income opportunity or 2 billion because of expenses for COVID-19. Kasi parang nakakasave yata tayo. Ewan ko, parang hindi na rin eh. Kasi di ba, nung nag-pandemic, there was no traffic. So traffic apparently eats up sa 1 to 2 billion pesos also. But some people say traffic has gotten worse. So we will find out from our economist, JC Punongbayan, also a columnist. He is co-founder of the Usapang Econ podcast. JC, good morning to you, sir.
Hi, Sir Cito. Good morning. Nice
Okay,
to see you
JC.
again.
Okay, JC, ikaw ngayon ang profesor, ako yung estudyanteng hindi pumasa ng Eco 11, ano? Okay. Ngayon, ang tanong ko sa iyo, I want to know, okay, the president has been quoted as saying the economy is in bad shape, things are going to get tougher, and we're losing about 2 billion a day. Now, is that do all economists in the country agree on that, or is that just one version of the analysis? Are there many other versions, and what's your version?
I think, Sir Cito, in a way, that's even understated, ano? If you look at the facts, Sir Cito, it's hard to dispute that the Philippine economy is really at its worst since World War II. So if you look, for example, at GDP growth, 9.5 yung binagsak ng ekonomiya natin last year, yun ay pinakamalala since World War II, even exceeding yung previous worst crisis natin during the martial law years, 1984, 1985, mga 7% yung binagsak natin noon. Ngayon, 9.5. And
Mm.
on top of that, hindi lang siya worst over time, kundi worst din siya, Sir Cito, in the ASEAN region. Kasi nakita natin na bagamat bumagsak din naman yung ibang ASEAN economies, especially last year, hindi kasing lala nung binagsak natin. And in fact, Malaysia, ang bilis niyang naka-rebound. Samantalang yung Vietnam, actually, they even avoided entirely recession kasi hindi sila nag-shrink. Positive pa rin yung kanilang growth rate throughout the entire of 2020. Samantalang tayo, negative
Mm.
yung growth natin in 4 consecutive quarters. And in fact, sinasabi nga na even ngayong 2021 ay baka magpatuloy pa rin yung negative growth in the first quarter at tayo yung pinakamabagal yung na magre-recover.
Okay, JC, can you explain something? Because before the pandemic, we were supposed to be the darling of Southeast Asia. We were supposed to be the fastest growing economy in the region. At least yun ang pagkaalala ko. Kasi I mean, it was all such glowing reports, and unemployment had been whittled down. Foreign investments were coming in. People, even the stock market became a favorite playground of investors. And if you're saying to me that other countries managed to survive the pandemic pretty well, and we did not, where did we go wrong? And I'm not going to put blame on anyone in particular. Let's, in general terms, saan ako nagkamali, JC?
Well, Sir Cito, even during my time in government, nung nasa NEDA po ako nung 2014, 2015, yan na po
Mm.
yung emerging na narrative, ano, na yung Philippine economy is in a better footing and mas naging robust na yung ating growth simula nung martial law years.
Mm.
Kasi bagamat merong mga ups and downs, growth has been yo-yoing since, for example, the first Aquino administration, Ramos administration, the Estrada administration. Simula nung Arroyo administration, medyo mas naging stable yung growth natin. And pagdating na nga nung second Aquino administration, we can expect mga at least 6% growth.
Mm.
So parang yun na yung minimum na pwede nating i-expect year in, year out.
Mm.
Pero it turns out that pandemic lang pala yung katapat nung nung ating supposedly robust economic growth. And I think this only highlights yung importansya, yung medyo nakalimutan natin na merong health aspect din pala yung ekonomiya natin, that we should not forget na yung ekonomiya natin in the end is about people. Yung
Mm.
ekonomiya, ang nagpapatakbo dyan ay mga tao. So kailangan mong alagaan yung mga tao in the first place para asahan mo na yung ekonomiya ay patuloy na mag-churn ng
Yeah,
activity.
yeah, but JC, all countries suffered the same fate. They all had an issue with COVID-19, and in fact, Indonesia had an issue with COVID-19, but Indonesia did not, I don't think, according to you guys, did not suffer as badly as the Philippines. Parang lumaylay tayo sa Indonesia. Was the mistake ang aming bang pagkakamali or ang ating pangkalahatang? Is our collective mistake or sin, was it depending on OFW for the large part in our economy, or maliit lang naman yung OFW. Kasi lahat yan pinabalik or nawala ng trabaho, so wala. And then, ang sinasabi ng ibang economists, kasi Sito, ano tayo, we are a consumer-driven economy. Yung bili ng bili ang Pilipino ng kung ano-ano, so yung ekonomiya stable. Pero yung consumer-driven economy naman na yon, ang nagpapatakbo nun ay yung pera na nanggagaling sa mga OFW na ngayon wala nang padala. Is that the right analysis? Am I correct? Or is there something I'm not seeing?
Well, certainly, Sir Cito, itong pandemic and recession is a time to rethink yung structure ng ekonomiya natin. Ano? For the longest time, consumption-driven, tama ka, consumption-driven economy tayo. About 2/3 or nearly 70% ng ekonomiya natin ay consumer-driven. So, nandito yung mga face-to-face interactions na gusto nga nating iwasan during the pandemic. So, naturally, tatamaan tayo ng matindi kapag nagkaroon ng pandemic. So, I think yung OFW remittances for the longest time, in fact, have been helping yung sa consumer-driven economy na yon. So, mahirap na yatang sisihin yung pagbagsak ng ekonomiya natin sa kanila. I think for the most, actually, well, of course, nandiyan yung fact na yung OFW remittances actually, Sir Cito, is in the red right now. For the first time in several decades, ay nakita natin na may mga negative, may mga buwan na at saka quarter na negative yung growth ng OFW remittances. Syempre, ang daming na repatriate at hindi makapagpadala ng remittances. Pero actually, parang marami din yung mga nangingimin na bumalik sa Pilipinas kasi gusto nilang makakuha ng vaccines kung saan sila nandoon ngayon. So I think ultimately, Sir Cito, ang naging problema dito ay naging lax yung response ng gobyerno sa pandemic. Hindi maikakala, Sir Cito, na napaka-intricate ng link between the pandemic response and the economic outcomes. So I think ultimately it boils down to that. Ayusin muna yung health response ng gobyerno and saka natin pwedeng asahan na susunod yung economic recovery natin.
Okay, but from what I see and hear on the ground, the business sector, the manufacturing sector, the labor force are all saying, patay na kung patay. Mamamatay din kami kung naka-quarantine lang kami. Obviously, the economic side of the coin, they're all saying, let us out so we can live. You're saying that we should manage the health response or the health program. Ang problema, ano pa bang magagawa ng gobyerno, ng DOH kasi and the IATF, because their hands are tied. Without the vaccine, there's nothing there.
If you look, Sir Cito, at these studies in the US, for example, may mga, if you remember last year, may mga US states na nagbukas, kanya-kanya silang nagbukas, especially those sa Republican-led na mga states kasi gusto nila na yun na nga mabuksan yung ekonomiya. Pero
mga Trump.
well, pretty much. Pero some rigorous economic analysis have shown na kahit nabuksan mo yung ekonomiya mo, yung mga states na yon, ay hindi siya sinundan ng significant na pagtaas ng consumer spending. Kasi ultimately, takot pa rin yung mga tao na lumabas kahit na looser yung quarantine restrictions. And I think, Sir Cito, we have seen that similarly dito sa Pilipinas. If you look at yung Google mobility data, si Google nagko-collection ng data sa paggalaw ng mga tao sa mga public places. Napaka-obvious na even the middle of 2020, kung saan looser na significantly yung quarantine restrictions, ang dami pa rin mga Pilipino na nag-i-stay at home. Hindi sila pumupunta sa mga malls, sa mga restaurants, sa mga parks, etc. So I think may fallacy doon, Sir Cito, doon sa mga naririnig natin sa mga economic managers, for example, na pagbuksan natin ekonomiya, automatic masosolve na yung problema natin. Hindi siya ganun kadali.
So, kasi hindi lumalabas. Now, it leads me to my next question because obviously you're very correct, JC, that even if you let people out, it doesn't equate to them spending money. Maraming Pilipino nawala ng trabaho or lumiit ang kita, so nagtitipid. They're saving money instead of spending money. Now, what are the items that need to move in order for the economy to move? Because you're saying that just letting people out doesn't necessarily equate to economic stimulus. What can we do? Because, the deeper we get into the hole, the harder it's going to be to climb out. And the problem is, habang tayo ay lumulubog, mas madaming nadadamay at nahihila papunta dun sa paglubog.
That's exactly right, Sir Cito. Actually, just the other day, I have been in touch with some businessmen. Gusto nila ng economic appraisal, and that's the similar conclusion that they have arrived at. I think right now, there's a lot banking on the vaccines, obviously. So,
Yeah.
kailangan maayos ng gobyerno yung vaccine procurement. Tsaka, well, not just that, kundi yung distribution as well as yung hesitancy ng mga tao. Kasi for example, nakita natin doon sa Dengvaxia issue na maraming nangimin na magpabakuna. And in fact ngayon, maraming natatakot doon sa mga dinedevelop na mga vaccines. So government has to drum up yung confidence doon sa pag-vaccinate at as well as kasi hindi lang naman isang dose yan eh. So mayroon pang follow-up dose. So kailangan ma-monitor din ng gobyerno efficiently kung sino yung mga nabakunahan na at sino pa yung kailangan pang bakunahan. And kapag ka ikaw ay nabakunahan na, government also needs to develop yung vaccine passport na tinatawag. Kasi for example, if you go out of the country, paano mo mamomonitor kung sino na yung nabakunahan or hindi? And oddly enough, ay hindi ko naririnig so far sa balita yung vaccine passport, yung pangangailangan doon later on. So I think kailangan plantsahin yung vaccine procurement, distribution, and yung monitoring. Pero right now, nakita natin, in fact, niluluwagan na yung ekonomiya natin. And in fact, the NED acting secretary has been talking about even loosening the restrictions more. Pero kahit na yung mga nabakunahan na, ay hindi naman yun ibig sabihin na pwede na siyang mag-roam free unabated. So, kailangan pa rin i-monitor kahit yung mga nabakunahan na. And I think on the other hand, Sir Cito, kailangan din natin makita ang mas matinding economic relief from government. If you look at yung news sa US, for example, President Joe Biden has been proposing na magbigay ng mga cheque directly sa mga tao para ma-induce yung kanilang consumer spending. And I think
Magkano na nga ba yung binigay? $900 per household ba o libo na?
it's ang gusto nila, Sir Cito, ay $1,400 per American.
Per American. Oh.
So matindi yun. So in fact, we have been going that direction last year. If you remember yung social amelioration program nung April and May, that is in fact a step in the right direction. And it's unfortunate na hindi na siya nasundan. Bagamat medyo na politikas at the local level, tsaka naging inefficient yung distribution, sana tingnan pa ng gobyerno na magbigay ng ganong klaseng additional na pera. Kasi nga nawala ng pera ay mga tao, wala silang panggastos. So I think yung pinaka-obvious na solution, bigyan mo sila ng pera panggastos and may pera naman ng gobyerno for that.
Yeah, that leads me to another point, JC, because we are all survivors of the Marcos economics, kung saan maraming inutang, and for decades we were paying for all of the money that was borrowed by government, but very little benefit to the majority of Filipinos. Now, here we have a different set of problems. Everyone on your side of the fence are saying we need to give economic stimulus. Bigyan nyo yung pera, yung mga mamamayan, para gastusin nila, para tumakbo yung mga makina ng industriya at yung mga malls, mga tindahan, may mga trabaho tayo. We have jobs, okay? But and I agree, JC, I agree kasi asar na ako honestly na yung gobyerno, and no politics, no names, not a particular administration, but the Philippine government in general has operated on the business model where it always collects money, gets taxes, doesn't even reinvest on the agencies and offices that produce the income for them, and never gives out directly to citizens. Kumbaga, parang ang nakakatanggap lang laging poorest of the poor. Now, but on the long run, someone will have to pay for all of this. What will be the repercussions of massive stimulus checks to every Filipino?
if you tune in, Sir Cito, dun sa discussions among economists worldwide, you will arrive at the conclusion na actually nagbago na yung tune ng mga ekonomista. Even yung mga natatakot sa mga tinatawag na budget deficit, kung saan kulang yung nagkukulang ang pera ng gobyerno, hindi na sila ganun. In the face of severe economic, well, I put it this way, kung pwede mong isipin yung Philippine economy as a patient na nasa ICU nasa ICU yung ating ekonomiya ngayon.
Okay.
Ang gobyerno ayaw gumastos kahit na yung ekonomiya natin ay nasa ICU na. So basically, ganun kalala yung sitwasyon ngayon at kailangan ng matinding paggastos. At hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit hindi sinusundan ng present government yung consensus ng mga ekonomista abroad. For example, even the IMF, multilateral institutions, economists there, saka yung mga academic economists are all saying na kailangan the government must go big pagdating doon sa economic relief. And pagdating doon sa mga concerns doon sa sustainability nito, of course, tama ka, Sir Cito, to bring up yung trauma natin from the Marcos years. Pero I think iba na yung tama ka rin na iba yung sitwasyon ngayon, ibang-iba yung konteksto. At this relates to the fact na nabanggit mo kanina na the deeper we are, the harder it will be to get out. So I think masyado na natin pinatagal yung recession. So I think panahon na para, I think some lawmakers are pushing, for example, si Representative Stella Kimbo, who is an economist, as you know, propose siya ng Bayanihan 3 to the tune of additional 400 billion pesos. I think that's a step in the right direction. Pero kung sana nilakihan na ng executive yung proposed 2021 budget at sinalpak na yun doon sa 2021 budget, they wouldn't need to be cramming this additional funds. So I think wala na tayong magagawa. Nandiyan na yung 2021 budget, pero I think Congress needs to step up and do its job and provide for more economic relief dun sa Bayanihan 3 and the other measures. Just one last thing, Sir Cito, dun sa sinasabi mo, sinasabi mo na may nabanggit ka dun sa parang too much focus dun sa hindi focus sa mga workers directly kundi sa mga businesses. I think tama ka na may ganong concern kasi for the longest time, the economic managers have been pushing mga policies like create, guide, and fist na masyadong focus dun sa tinatawag na trickle-down economics, which has been disproved already na especially in the middle of the pandemic, pinapakita na mas magandang bigyan mo na lang ng pera directly ang mga tao.
And it cuts down on all the politics, it cuts down on all the issues of bureaucratic process. Correct ba yun?
Well, in fact, pwede mo ngang isipin na magtataka ka na parang bakit ayaw nilang magbigay ng pera. Ito na yung chance actually na magbigay ng pera directly sa mga tao kasi alam naman natin na yung
JC, but JC, haven't you figured that out? Kasi ako, napapuzzle din ako dahil you would imagine, there are already mayors, congressmen, senators who have pressed the campaign button. They're already on campaign button mode, nagpapa-interview na, nag-iikot na. And you would think that if the administration wants to ensure their continuity in power or in influence, giving away this much money is going to make them really popular. Now, why is it that the economic managers are holding back? Is there something I don't know because I did not do well in economics? Ano ba yung hidden cost or risk na kinakatakutan ni Sunny Dominguez, ni Carl Chua, etc.? Because I mean, I respect them. Hindi naman to mga taong basta kuripot may dahilan. Do you have any idea what the reason could be?
Well, tama ka, Sir Cito, na nakakapagtaka iyon na Well, if you look at the 2021 budget, makikita mo na actually maraming mga pondo ang napunta sa mga local infrastructure projects such as roads and bridges. In fact, yung local, tinatawag na local program ng DPWH, ito yung isa sa mga pinakamalalaking budget increases ito sa current budget natin. And that is, kasi nga, of course, it should be obvious na yung health response should take a priority. Pero bakit infrastructure? So I think doon pa lang makikita mo na merong mga motivations na paparating na itong 2022 elections. I think doon sa 2021 budget, kaya naging maliit siya to begin with yung proposal. Si Secretary Dominguez talaga yung kumukumpas dito eh. And binabalik, matagal ko na rin itong inisip, even my colleagues, inisip namin, bakit masyadong hesitant? And sobrang nagtataka din kami. Well, I think it has come to the conclusion na hindi talaga, I'm sorry to say, pero parang hindi talaga attune dun sa economic consensus abroad na amid all governments, most governments pushing for aggressive fiscal spending, hindi sumusunod yung current economic managers natin. So that is very unfortunate.
Is it possible? But I mean, Sunny Dominguez has handled other positions in the past, so I would not deprive him of that, credit. Okay, marami na ring alam si Secretary Dominguez. But is it possible that him being a businessman outside of this position in government has his style as a CEO dictates on the how he's managing the economy, and parang alam mo naman ng mga CEO, not everyone is a risk taker. So does this boil down to style na Sunny Dominguez is a very prudent, conservative individual, imbis na kung nilagay mo dyan si Ramon Ang, sasabihin ni Ramon, bigay nyo na yan para makagalaw na tayo, etc. Quick answer na lang, JC, because apparently I've run out of time.
Yes, Sir Cito. I think mahirap i-analogy yung isang business, yung kaperahan ng isang business sa kaperahan ng gobyerno. Kasi unlike a business ay yung gobyerno pwedeng mag-print ng pera, quote and quote, nandiyan yung Bangko Sentral. So I think there is a risk of pushing too far yung analogy between a business and a government. And I think yung ganung thinking has affected yung decisions ng economic managers so far.
Okay, well, JC, it's been wonderful speaking to you. Medyo natutunan ko na naman yung economics sa 101 na tayo ngayon. Di na Eco 111, Eco 11, 101 na tayo. Okay, thank you very much, and I do hope to speak with you again in the near future. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay smart. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Cito. Stay safe.
Okay, yan po si JC Punongbayan, economist, and pwede nyo siyang pakinggan. Meron pala siyang podcast, Usapang Econ. Kailangan pinapakinggan natin yan para matuto tayo. Okay, we'll go for a quick break, and when we return, we will go to America. We will go, Good Evening America. Nando doon si Father Nick. Father Nick ewan ko, somewhere in the USA. No, Nick Austriaco. Okay, we'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, your host, and this part of the program, let's speak with our resource person from the UST COVAX Vaccine Awareness Team and Octa Research Group. He is in the United States, Father Nick Austriaco. Father Nick, good evening to you. I think you're mute. Try again.
Evening, good morning.
Okay. Father Nick, sorry to disturb you, pero believe naman ako sa'yo. Ang tapang mo, you're in America?
Well, I'm here to work on that vaccine for the Philippines. So I returned to my lab for a month and a half to work on the vaccine. And then hopefully if it's successful here, I will take it back to Manila in March to do animal trials at UST.
Okay, wait a minute. You are, it's going, you're working on a vaccine. I mean, I know you with COVAX Vaccine Awareness, with Octa Research. I do know that you are a microbiologist.
I'm a molecular biologist.
Sorry, molecular biologist. But
yes.
Did I hear right? You're working on a vaccine for COVID?
Yes. So we are developing a yeast-based vaccine delivery platform for COVID-19. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing here in the States is that there is a probiotic yeast which you can buy at Watson's in the Philippines for 35 pesos, I think. And we're taking that yeast and we're putting into that yeast the ability for that yeast to make the proteins, the key protein from SARS-CoV-2. And the goal here is you will just drink the yeast in milk, or my students would prefer in their beer, and it will trigger an immune response in your stomach. And so this will allow, it's an oral vaccine delivery platform. The advantages for this, if it works, is one, you don't need an injection, you do not need doctors, you do not need nurses, you do not need refrigeration, and we could mail it to all of our people throughout the 7,000 islands.
Nako mga kaibigan, ipagdasal po natin si Father Nick na magtagumpay kasi papakilala kita sa kaibigan kong si Ramon Ang. Ikarga na natin sa San Miguel Beer yung bakuna na yan para hindi na tayo nagtatalo. Diba? Kasi right now, I understand. Actually, the reason we called you is to find out the results of that alarming survey that many Filipinos don't want to have the vaccination. Pero if you, as a Filipino and your team there, come up with a new vaccine, yeast-based vaccine, na pwede ilagay sa beer, bibili na ako ng 10 case at ipamimigay ko.
Well, it's still in the preclinical trials period. So I'm here. Actually, I came back. I'm in quarantine right now in the US because I arrived from the Philippines. And so I'll wait here for a few more days and then I'll join my lab and I'll work in the lab for about a month. Now, it's actually interesting because I also ended up becoming vaccinated. I was vaccinated with the Moderna vaccine on Friday. Unexpectedly, my state basically said that everyone who lived in my religious community had to be vaccinated. So I got vaccinated even though I was still in quarantine from arriving from the Philippines.
Okay, now you got vaccinated Friday. It's already Thursday, so it's almost been, it's 6 days to be exact. And what were the symptoms, Father Nick?
So what happened was the first day, it was just a sore in my arm. And then the next day I woke up and I was feeling very tired and I thought it was jet lag. But I remembered I had already been in the States for 5 days and usually I'm over jet lag after 5 days. And it turned out it was the vaccine. So in that afternoon, I got the chills for about 30 minutes. So I was back asleep for another 5 hours. And then after that, it was gone. And I've been completely fine since then.
Yeah. So in other words, normal reaction from the vaccine.
That's right. And I will get my second shot on the 26th of February. And I am not allowed to leave the US until 2 weeks after that. So I return to the Philippines on the 13th of March.
Okay, well, ayan po mga kaibigan, no less than Father Nick Austriaco of UST ang nagpapatunay. Nabakunahan siya nung Biyernes, nung isang linggo.
Oo.
Umabot ng 6 na araw. Yung unang araw niya, maga yung kanyang braso. Natural po yun. Hindi naman
Oo.
maga. Medyo, kumbaga, parang nauntog.
Exactly.
Pagkatapos, umagahan o kinagabihan ng sumunod na araw, medyo gininaw, nanginig, napagod. Pero after that, wala na. Natural
Wala na.
po yun. Good. This I think this is divine providence that you are giving us this testimony. Kasi ano ba yung nangyari? What happened to that survey that your team conducted?
So we conducted an online open access survey. There were 15,000 Filipinos who responded from all over the country, and we evaluated their responses. And about 80% of them are actually open to vaccines, but only 50 at this time are willing to be, 50% are willing to be vaccinated by the COVID-19 vaccines. And they were hesitant because they were worried about safety and efficacy. We also noticed that there was an incredible difference in terms of confidence in an American vaccine versus a Chinese vaccine versus a Russian vaccine. And 70%, over 70%, want the politicians to get vaccinated first. Which is why we are strongly, my team and I are strongly encouraging the president and all our politicians, including all our mayors and mayoras, to be vaccinated with a Chinese vaccine in public, because so many Filipinos are deeply worried about these vaccines. So they need to see that the vaccinations are happening.
Yeah, well, that's correct because, sadly, if celebrities or public figures do it, katulad si Tim Yap na nagparty doon sa Baguio to promote Baguio, ang nangyayari, hine-hate, binubugbog sa social media. But dapat ngayon, itong mga politiko, total on campaign mode na ang karamihan sa inyo, dinadaan pa nyo sa mga congressional, Senate investigation, etc. Dapat luminya na lang sila sa luneta at magpabakuna para lantaran.
I predict that the 2022 elections will depend completely on the success or failure of the vaccination program for the Philippines.
Okay.
If we do not vaccinate our people successfully by next year, I think many people are going to be deeply angry at the government.
Well,
So hopefully the government will decide that vaccination should be a priority this year. And we should do all that we can to get our kababayans vaccinated.
Yeah, I thank you for saying that, Father Nick, because, I was speaking with young people last night, and I was talking to them about this prolonged confinement in their homes. And one particular young adult said, you are raising a generation who do not trust government, do not trust the law enforcers, and who resent authority.
Deep anger.
Deep anger. Ayun nga po yung sinasabi ko na we need to find a solution. Apparently, no one's in charge of resolving that problem. Parang someone will come up with the resolution, another person will come up with an opposition. Anyway, going back to your survey, what are, aside from 80% open, 50% willing to be vaccinated, choosy, more trust on an American, UK vaccine than on a made in China. What else of importance did you discover? And hey, mind you, I am impressed that you surveyed 15,000 and not 1,500. Medyo substantial yung population.
Well, and I run an undergraduate team at USC, and they are very good at promoting social media. So that's why we deployed a social media based survey, because this way we could get tens of thousands. So we got 15,000 because we really wanted to see, have a good deep snapshot of the Filipino people. When we ask them, for example, what sort of things are you worried about? They're worried about fake vaccines. So one of the things we brought up in our report is that the government has to reassure the people that any vaccination, any vaccine dose that is administered during the national vaccination program has to be. They have to show the people that these are protected, they are authentic. How do we show the people that? Because the people are worried that they're going to get fake vaccines that's actually going to hurt them in the long run. And so I was vaccinated last Friday, and it's incredible. Even the vials, each vial has a scan code, so they scan each vial. And the people who are vaccinating us said, you cannot take that away because we have to destroy that. And this is going to be very important in the Philippines too. So after the vaccination, all of the vials have to be destroyed so that they cannot be taken black market to Chinatown or something and filled with sugar water.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you think that Father Nick is exaggerating or sensationalizing the matter, I have news for you. Yesterday, it was already in the news that Chinese authority raided a fake vaccine operation in their country and on the spot confiscated 2,000 vials of saline water. Tubig po binebenta na bakuna. Kanya yung mga namimili dyan ng black market, unless it is presented by a hospital or by the Department of Health, no, no, no. Any last message, Father Nick, before we go?
Well, I think one of the things I'm here in the United States, and we are recruiting as many Filipinos here in the U.S. who have been vaccinated. And so we've started a program where we're going to collect testimonies of Filipinos and Filipinas all over the U.S. who have been vaccinated. And we are trying to ask them what to share their experience with their kababayans back home. Because our survey showed that the respondents trust other people. They do not trust the government. So what I'm here. I've contacted friends and networks, and we are getting selfies and videos from. I want 1,000 Filipinos to flood social media back home with the message that Filipinos abroad have taken this vaccine. They are okay, and so we should be okay back home as well.
Okay, well, you're not going to have problems with that, Father Nick, because the latest thing I picked up is that in Isabela, a nurse from one locality there has been posting from the United States, posting video messages of her being vaccinated and then saying, Manang, bili kayo, huwag kayong papayag nung Chinese. Bilhin niyo yung American, yung Pfizer, Manang, Manong, gano'n. Patay tayo dyan. Basta nagsalita na si Manang, wala na. Okay, di ba? Okay, Father Nick, congratulations. What you are doing in all counts is very praiseworthy. May the Lord honor you, bless you, and may He bless the work of your hands, your speech, and may you come up with that yeast vaccine para magkita-kita kami ng aking mga may pinagsamahan.
Salamat, Sir Cito. Have a good day. God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much, Father Nick. And yan po, si Father Nick Austriaco. Pag nagkatotoo yung yeast-based vaccine ni Father Nick, ilagay natin sa San Miguel Beer, ha? Iba na ang may pinagsamahan. And that's our program for today. Thank you very much to all of you. I pray that the blessings of the Lord will be upon you. And please naman, magpasalamat po kayo regularly. Daily, hourly, magpasalamat kayo for every blessing, whether you get a parking slot, whether you get a nice meal, whether you get a call from someone who loves you. Thank God, because the Lord God Almighty will multiply those blessings. Iba yung tatay pag natuwa, pinapaulanan tayo ng biyaya. God bless all of you. Have a good day. That's Agenda.